Welcome to Blarney Castle. It's a cold, clear morning, typical crisp autumn morning really, and it's glorious out here, great autumn colour. And with this new lockdown, we thought it might be nice to reintroduce the videos. And for the first one, I'd like to show you some of my favourite walks in the estate. There's a lot of season ticket holders that live locally within 5 kilometres that are out regularly on the estate walking, and for those of you that aren't able to come, we'd like to show you some of what's actually available. So the first area that I'd like to show you is the forest trail route, which is a more recent introduction to the grounds and gardens. This is an area that we extended our wooden boardwalk into and created bark chip paths through our native woodland. And with 2 new bridges, we were able to link up with the lower rock close into the upper rock close. And what I like about this area on the whole is that even if a lot of our visitors don't venture very far, within just a few minutes walk of the castle itself, you can be completely lost in the woods, for want of a better way of putting it. This is all native, and all we've really done here is open up a walk through and encourage the native species by clearing some of the invasives such as rhododendrons and laurels. And the end result is that it's a wonderful little oasis that's only just a couple of minutes off the beaten track. So welcome to the forest trail, and this is an area that, as I'd said, it's quite wild in its appearance, and we like that. We want it to get a little bit overgrown and for nature to take over. And the idea is to get a lot of visitors that wouldn't necessarily expect to be lost in the woods into a bit of the wilder area of Blarney, I suppose. So I'm going to walk down, and if you can imagine as we go through, as things start to grow up and get a bit more established, it will get a little bit more overgrown. But with the rivers either side, with the wildlife that comes with that, and things like seasonal bulbs, there's a lot of native bluebells in here, for example. So follow me through. There's actually a jay up in the tree over here, which you probably can't see it, but you can hear them. And we're only, 3-4 minutes walk from the castle here, and we're completely surrounded by nature. So we're at the junction here, and you can see the sign, Forest Trail, so that links up with the woodland area, cuts back through and goes back to the Seven Sisters, and the Pinetum goes up the bridge, up the steps, and into the upper rock close where the Pinetum is. And from there you can link up with the lake walk, as I'd already mentioned. And if we were to continue back towards the castle, which is what I'm going to do shortly, we'll be on the riverbank walk down below the castle. So I'm going to bring you there next. Second choice for a walk would be the riverbank walk, or the riverside walk. It starts off just below the castle, close to the caves, and it continues all the way along the Blarney River out towards the back of the estate, where it joins up again and into the forest. But historically, this walk is not new. Sir Charles remembers horses being ridden along the Blarney River when he was younger. So it wasn't a case of creating a new walk, it was just a case of reclaiming something from the past. And we've used bark chip again on this surface so that it's not what I'd call an urban surface, and it's very soft and in keeping with the surroundings. But the Blarney River side walk again it's a wildlife haven. There's an opportunity to see otters, kingfishers, and all of the native wildlife along here. And I'm going to bring you down and show you a couple of spots down here that I particularly like. And we're just below the castle, opposite the caves, which is the starting point, and this runs all the way along the river. So what I want to do is just stop a couple of times along the way and show you, I suppose, some of my favourite spots. All along the riversides and along the lake walks as well, we have some fabulous trees. And behind me is one of our older beech trees. Some of the beech trees here date back over 300 years. This one isn't that old, but it's a fantastic specimen. and you can see the way the light comes through this time of year. It's absolutely stunning. So this is one spot I wanted to show you because it's a point of interest. We have a lot of, I suppose, historic structures on the estate, and sometimes we come across things that we didn't know about that have been lost to history, and this is one of them. When we were putting in the path, we found this little covered area that's clearly man-made, and we suspect it's one of the old soldiers' sentry posts, and I'll show you why. You'll also see with benches, through most of the walks we have the benches positioned around the place, but this one is making use of the shelter that was created probably 500 years ago. So you can pop in a second, have a look, but up above me where the two rocks meet, there's a gap that's been covered with more rocks actually stacked up to create a roof in effect. So if you want to pop in and see if you can get that straight up in the middle, you can see the way the rocks have been stacked, and it stands to reason that this would have been a handy lookout point for soldiers looking across the river while defending the grounds in effect. Final view I want to show you before we continue to the lake walk is a view of the river, of course. Now there's a bit of water running through it at the moment, but often in the summer when this is very low you can see the trout moving around quite easily, and if you're very lucky you'll get to spot one of the resident kingfishers. You just see literally a blue flash and they're gone, but they're amazing when you do see them. So if you're down this way, keep your eyes open. And the third route is the lake walk, which you can see runs really not just around the lake but around the whole estate. And the first two walks I referred to can also be joined in. So it's actually possible to walk up to 5 kilometres on the estate itself, following all of these trails. But the lake walk takes you up the Lime Avenue and down and around the lake, doing a circuit. And what's wonderful about this is, again, it's off the beaten track somewhat. It's a good long walk, but there's opportunities once again to be seeing the native species. And we have a family of swans on the lake. We have a bird hide which is normally open and accessible down this area, and then we have the floating pontoon boardwalk at the front here next to our boathouse. So the lake itself offers a great opportunity for what I'd call a peaceful walk, again because of the size of the estate. Even though there's reasonable amounts of people walking through, the likelihood is a lot of the time you're going to be on your own. We're now at the lake, and the lake walk just is basically a circuit of this lake that runs back and around through the estate from the castle and then back again to the castle. The lake walk takes around 45 minutes at I suppose a reasonable pace, but it can take as long as you want it to. But as part of that, we've tried to really bring the wildlife side of things forward and introduce people to that. So we have various spots around the lake where there's information about the lakeside wildlife and wildflower meadows, areas that are set aside and just left. And then we have areas that are accessible to actually get out onto the lake, such as our boardwalk and the bird hide, which I'm going to be showing you shortly. But really the pleasure in it is just to get out and have a little bit of a wander. And as you can see today, the place is stunning. So this is our bird hide, and I want to bring you inside and show you. It's another recent addition to the lake, and it's another great way of showcasing the wildlife, really. So come in and have a look. Now, this offers a great opportunity for people to have I suppose an uninterrupted view of the lake, and it's tucked away in a quiet corner. And the way the bird hides are designed is that it's as little sort of interference, let's say, with the wildlife. So by being in here in a structure that the birds are effectively used to seeing, and they can only see, the heads of people looking out, they're not disturbed to a great degree. And while we're actually in here, you can see we've had this lovely little poster done, which really just illustrates some of the things you're likely to see on the lake or in the lake. And we don't want to overcomplicate things, but it's a good way of introducing the general public to some of the wildlife. But have a look out at the view. It's a very popular spot, and we often find that people tend to come in here and sit down for quite a while. And there's one of our resident swans coming in to make an appearance for you as well, which is lovely, especially today with the water so still. So there you go. That's 3 of my favourite walks in the gardens, and I hope you enjoyed that. And hopefully we'll see you all in here soon. Thanks.